For 25 years, my family treated me like I didn't belong. Not sometimes, not once in a while. Every single day, every birthday, every holiday, every family photo, there was always a place for everyone else, but never for me. When relatives came over, they hugged my brother first, then my sister, and sometimes they forgot I was standing there. As a child, I thought maybe I wasn't trying hard enough. Maybe I wasn't smart enough. Maybe I wasn't lovable enough. I spent years trying to earn the affection that seemed to come naturally to everyone else. But no matter what I did, nothing ever changed. Then one day, a DNA test ordered by my dying grandfather revealed a secret that destroyed my entire family. And when the truth finally came out, the same people who spent 25 years rejecting me were suddenly begging me to forgive them. I grew up in a house where favoritism wasn't hidden. It was obvious. My older brother Ethan was the golden child. My younger sister Madison was the princess. And me? I was the mistake. At least that's how they treated me. Whenever something went wrong, it somehow became my fault. If Ethan broke a lamp, I got punished. If Madison lied about something, my parents believed her. Not me. I remember one Christmas when I was 10 years old. I had spent weeks making handmade gifts for everyone. I used my allowance to buy wrapping paper. I stayed up late working on them. Christmas morning arrived. My brother got a new gaming console. My sister got a mountain of presents. When it was my turn, I opened a box. Inside was an old sweater, not even my size. Everyone laughed. My father joked that maybe I'd grow into it someday. I laughed too, because crying would have made things worse. That night, I locked myself in my room and cried until I fell asleep. I kept asking myself the same question. Why? Why was I always different? Why was I never enough? Nobody ever answered. Then, something happened when I was 8 years old. Something I never forgot. One night, I woke up thirsty. As I walked past the kitchen, I heard my parents talking. Their voices were low, almost like they didn't want anyone to hear them. Then my mother whispered something that made me stop. Sometimes when I look at him, I wonder if we'll ever get away with it. My heart started pounding. Then my father replied, "We've already gotten away with it for 8 years. Silence followed. Then my mother said, "Let's just pray nobody ever finds out." I stood frozen. Who were they talking about? What were they hiding? I wanted to walk in and ask, but fear kept me rooted to the floor. For years, those words lived inside my head. Every time my family treated me differently, I remembered that conversation. As I grew older, the gap between me and my family only became larger. When I graduated high school with honors, my parents barely acknowledged it. A few months later, my brother dropped out of college. My parents threw him a celebration dinner because he was finding himself. I wish I were joking. When I bought my first car, nobody congratulated me. When my sister bought hers, my parents paid for half of it. The message was always clear. They mattered. I didn't. Eventually, I stopped trying. I moved 3 states away, started a new life, built a successful career, made friends who treated me like family. But even then, the pain never completely disappeared, because no matter how successful I became, a part of me still wondered why my own family never loved me. There was only one exception. My grandfather. Grandpa was different. He never treated me like an outsider. He remembered my birthdays. He came to my graduation. He called every week just to check on me. And sometimes, he looked at me with sadness in his eyes. as if he knew something I didn't. A few months before he died, he asked me a question that sent chills down my spine. I was visiting him in the hospital. He looked weak, older than I'd ever seen him. As I sat beside his bed, he grabbed my hand. Then he asked quietly, "Have you ever wondered why your family treats you differently?" My stomach dropped, because it was the question I'd been asking my entire life. I nodded. Grandpa looked toward the window, then whispered, "Because they've been hiding something." My heart started racing. "What do you mean?" I asked. But before he could answer, a nurse walked into the room. The moment disappeared, and I never got another chance. 3 weeks later, Grandpa passed away. I was devastated. Losing him felt like losing the only person who truly cared about me. At his funeral, I noticed something strange. Several times, I caught Grandpa's lawyer looking directly at my parents, and every time he did, they looked nervous. At the time, I didn't understand why. A month later, every member of the family received a call. Grandpa's lawyer requested our presence for the reading of the will. My siblings were excited. They assumed they were getting money. My parents looked confident. I honestly didn't expect anything. I almost skipped the meeting, but something told me to go. Looking back, it was the most important decision of my life. The lawyer entered, carrying a thick envelope. The room was quiet. Then he said something nobody expected. "Before the inheritance can be distributed, Mr. Harrison requested one final condition." Everyone looked confused. Then he continued, "A DNA test must first be reviewed." The room instantly became tense. My mother turned pale. My father looked like he had seen a ghost. I noticed it immediately. The lawyer opened the envelope. My heart pounded. Nobody spoke. Then he started reading. The results revealed something that changed everything. I was not biologically related to my father. The room exploded. My sister burst into tears. My brother stood up in shock. My mother covered her face. I couldn't breathe. For a moment, it felt like the ground disappeared beneath me. Then came the second bombshell. My father had known the truth for 25 years. He knew from the day I was born. The room erupted into shouting. My siblings demanded answers. My mother started crying uncontrollably. But the lawyer wasn't finished, because Grandpa had left a video message. The lights dimmed. The screen turned on. And suddenly, there he was. Grandpa, looking directly into the camera. "If you're watching this," he began, "it means I'm gone." The room fell silent. Then he said something none of us expected. "It's finally time for the truth." Grandpa explained that years earlier, he discovered my mother's affair. She confessed everything. The man she had been involved with wasn't my father. My father learned the truth when I was born. And although he chose to stay, he never truly forgave her. Instead, he directed his anger toward me, not because of anything I had done, but because I reminded him of the betrayal. Grandpa explained how the secret slowly poisoned the family. My mother lived with guilt. My father lived with resentment, and I became the target. The room was silent. Every painful memory suddenly made sense. Every forgotten birthday, every cruel comment, every moment I felt unwanted. It had never been my fault, not once. Then, Grandpa looked directly into the camera and said words I'll never forget. "The only innocent person in this story is the boy they punished." Tears filled my eyes, because for the first time in my life, someone finally said it. Someone finally saw the truth. Then Grandpa revealed one final surprise. A surprise that changed everything. The inheritance will not be divided equally. My brother's face went pale. My sister looked terrified. The lawyer nodded, then read Grandpa's final instructions. Nearly everything had been left to me. The house, the investments, the savings, the land, everything. The room erupted again. My brother shouted. My sister cried. My parents argued with the lawyer. They threatened lawsuits, but it didn't matter. The will was legally airtight. There was nothing they could do. And then something almost unbelievable happened. The same family who ignored me for 25 years suddenly wanted a relationship. My mother called every day. My father apologized. My siblings begged for forgiveness. At first, part of me wanted to believe them. Part of me wanted the family I had always dreamed of. But then I realized something. They weren't reaching out because they loved me. They were reaching out because they needed me. And those are very different things. For 25 years, they had every opportunity to treat me with kindness. They chose not to. Money didn't change that. The inheritance didn't erase the pain. And apologies couldn't rewrite my childhood. A year later, I sold Grandpa's house, donated part of the money to causes he cared about, invested the rest, and finally built the life I had always wanted. A life filled with people who genuinely loved me. As for my family, we rarely speak now. Not because I hate them, not because I want revenge, but because peace is too valuable to sacrifice. And sometimes, walking away is the healthiest thing you can do. My grandfather gave me more than money, more than property, more than an inheritance. He gave me the truth. And after 25 years of feeling unwanted, the truth set me free. The people who spent decades treating me like the black sheep thought they knew who I was. But in the end, they were the ones living a lie. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and join our family. Because every week we share powerful stories of betrayal, family secrets, heartbreak, justice, and unforgettable twists. And remember, your worth is not determined by how other people treat you. Sometimes the people who fail to see your value are the very people who lose it forever. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next story.